Welcome to the podcast, Jess.
Hey, Jenny.
As
What's up?
though you don't also belong in this podcast all the time.
Also my podcast.
Also your podcast. What you been up to, Jess?
I was just in New York checking out places to live. But my most exciting thing to talk about is that it's October. So I've been watching, well, exciting for me. I don't know if anyone else finds it exciting. I've been watching a scary movie every night. So 30 days of scary movies, sort of how like Freeform does their own, but it's my version. I
You're
wrote out a
curated.
calendar. Yeah, I wrote out a calendar on the first and I showed it to Matt and I said, these are the movies that we'll be watching. He was not pleased by the number of scary movies. If we're talking again about the cozy, spooky, scary spectrum, shout out to last week's episode. If you haven't listened yet, go do that. I obviously prefer movies on this scary side of the spectrum, and he would prefer spooky. Actually, if he made his own spectrum, the very left side would be goofier. He likes like stupid / comedy Halloween type movies, like Hubie Halloween, which was that
I've
like
not seen that.
Adam Sandler movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you don't need to see that one. But yeah, that's what he likes. So instead, I'm like trying to watch Insidious and Saw and Scream and
You should
scary movies.
put the calendar into some format that we can share, because I bet some people are like
yeah.
you in our subscriber base that would like that, because we're already 9 days in, but they can, start at day 10.
They can. I doubt anybody will be watching 30 movies in 30 days. Well, someone might be.
I mean, when you told me what Matt's reaction was to the last podcast, I felt a little bit vindicated. I felt a little like I won, I'll be quite honest, when you said that he was enjoying my picks.
He liked my list too. I just wasn't telling you that part. Well, he didn't like he likes it. I would say he doesn't like some of the scary movies that were on my list, but I didn't ask him who the winner was.
Speaking of winning, this episode will actually be slightly more. I realize that I'm transitioning quickly out of our talking about our lives, but that's because I'm very excited.
You had nothing exciting that you've done recently that you wanted to add?
Not really. I've been doing fall stuff, which is always exciting to me, but nothing new really. Oh, you know what I have been experiencing more so than anything else is a large number of TikTok videos with that sound from the actor that plays Rhaenyra. I don't know if this is.
I actually am still on episode 4. So
it's an
don't
interview.
spoil anything.
No, it's an interview. Okay. I can't believe you don't know what I'm talking about already. It's
no, I haven't been on TikTok in like a week actually.
Dang. The actress who plays older Alicent asks, like, what's your drink of choice? And her answer is very sultry in tone. But
I think I do know what you're talking about.
They go. Sorry, it's they go by they. But a Negroni Spagliato with Prosecco in it. That is the.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. No, I definitely have not.
All right. Well,
that's Olivia Cook, right?
No.
Older Alicent. Oh, you're talking about older Rhaenyra.
Older Alicent asks Emma for older Rhaenyra.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yes.
And so older Rhaenyra gives that answer, but they do it in like a very. People are just using the sound a lot, and it's been all over the place. Yeah, and now I kind of want to try the drink, which I know.
I was thinking that when you said that. Not that I think it sounds great, just sounds interesting.
I have no idea what a Negroni is. Is that?
I actually don't either. Classless? I like definitely know the word. I'm like, yeah, I've heard of that before, but if you asked me what was in it, it would be. That's not something I know. I really want
Campari in it, but only because I looked it up. I can't remember what the other aspects are.
What Campari is. I've heard of it. Again, I just don't know what it tastes like. I feel that way about a lot of liquors. Like people say one and I'm like, oh yeah, that, but I don't know what it tastes like or like what it is. Yeah. Not a big cocktail. Like I love drinking cocktails, but I don't know how to make anything.
I feel like there was a spectrums of people who learned how to do their own things during the pandemic, and it was like bake bread, make cocktails, and I wound up closer to the baking bread. It would have been cool.
I feel like a lot of people spicy marg, and then I called it quits. I said that's enough for me. That's all I want. And then I just didn't learn how to make anything else.
That's a pretty good option. If you need to have one in your back pocket, I would say spicy marg is good.
It's a go-to. All right.
Um,
What are we doing
so
today?
yeah, this is what I've, when you ask me like, what have you been up to? I've been preparing for this.
Just prepping this, which I appreciate. So yeah,
No, I'm
Jenni's
very
the expert
excited.
here. She will explain the rules and I'm along for the ride.
Okay, so we are today doing a sitcom draft, perhaps not the last because drafts are fun. And also, I can imagine us wanting a redo at some point or with a very slightly different spin. But anyway, if you're not familiar with the concept of drafts, if you haven't done a fantasy football
If
league
you
and
don't live in this world,
uh, a draft obviously is you're picking from a pool of people and building teams usually. We are going to be building I guess our teams will be sort of our own sitcoms. So similar to a fantasy football league where people can choose players from different teams to make up their fantasy team, we will be choosing characters from any sitcom that we want to fill certain archetypes or tropes and then build out I think it's 10. I think I chose 10 archetypes. Like a 10
somewhere near
person
that
sitcom. And then I don't know how we'll decide. I'm pretty sure we both like a lot of the same sitcoms. So we will probably like the combination of both of our teams,
Yeah,
as
we're
it
gonna end
were.
up liking both.
But maybe we can figure out a way to have like our listeners vote or something
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
to have
People
like a
could tell
true
us
head to head.
what they think the better sitcom would be.
Yeah, like this sitcom would be funnier, but this one would have more heart or whatever. I don't know. You could be nice to both of us
Oh,
if you
fun.
want.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Amazing.
so that's the general concept of this draft. I think I'm going to start by telling you, I know Jess already knows this, but the folks at home, what our archetypes and or what our characters, what's that
Like
word for
tropes.
archetype? Trope. There we go.
Yeah.
What our sitcom tropes are. If you have other tropes, if you're listening at home and you're like, they didn't remember this one, tell us so that next time we can include it.
Yeah. A better draft next time.
Yes.
I don't think we missed any. Well, now that I said that, someone's gonna be like, obviously this one.
Obviously this one.
It's a pretty wide variety.
It's definitely a wide variety. So we have the straight man, which I need to clarify.
Yeah, please tell them what I thought.
Is not a heterosexual male character as
It's
Jess
literally called
initially
the
asked me.
straight man. I didn't know.
Very fair, very fair. I don't know why that is in my lexicon of knowledge, but the straight man is basically the comedic foil. I feel like in a lot of old timey sitcoms, I mean, the trope is still used today, but it's usually a main character, someone who all of the jokes sort of bounce off of. They are reacting to the jokes. They're sort of as a viewer, someone you empathize with because their whole world of sitcom people is doing something crazy or wacky. And so they're reacting to it and they act sort of as your tie to the world often. Anyway, next is Dork or the square character. I feel like we can all, you guys have seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Carlton, perfect example.
It's the square character. Okay, again, not what I really thought, but that's fine.
You could interpret Dork in a different way. Okay. What were you thinking?
Like, oh no, now that you say that, I think I confused it with Goofball, which is the other one.
I think you can be a little flexible.
Okay.
These days, sitcoms are not trope by trope exactly the same as they once were.
Yeah.
I think flex it out. I think that's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna think. I'm gonna think about that while you explain the others.
Next is eccentric one. I didn't really have a great name for this, but I feel like Phoebe Buffay wrote the handbook for like eccentric one, but it's also sort of a wild card section. I feel like there are a lot of potential eccentric characters that we can pick.
Those are always the best. Always the best characters in a sitcom.
Definitely. And I'm going to allow us to make our arguments. I feel like we might disagree on whether or not a person fits the role, but it doesn't matter. We pick them for that role. Whatever. Goofball / ditz is the next one. I feel like that's self-explanatory.
Yeah, self-explanatory.
Then the sarcastic one, the wisecracker, also self-explanatory. You guys know what that means. The next one I chose was bully. which could go a couple of ways. It could be your like true bully, like antagonist, which is sort of similar to another one down the road, or it could be the like jerk with a heart of gold. You could go a couple of different ways with this one, but bully in general, they're sort of antagonizing other characters. The annoying one and or neurotic one, um I think I combined these. I think I had them as separate, and then I was like, it could be both, it could be either. But I feel like a lot of sitcoms have that. Seems self-explanatory as well. Then we have the enemy. I don't remember. I think I added this one because I was like, I feel like a lot of sitcoms have to have at least one character where the rest of the characters are sort of, I don't know, not so much the bully antagonized or being antagonized by, but every once in a while I'm thinking of, and maybe I'm stealing your answer, but maybe not, the kid whose name I can't remember in Parks and Rec that Amy Poehler is always, why did I call her Amy Poehler? Leslie Knope. The one who's
the teenager.
Yeah. What's
Oh,
his
I
name?
can't think
Greg
of his name right
Pakaitis.
now. Yeah, Greg Pakaitis. Wow, what a great one.
So that's like a very, he's not in all of the episodes, but it is an enemy in the series, is constantly sort of, and so there are a lot of choices for that one. The last category is the sage or smart one. That one also speaks for itself.
I think that's self-explanatory as well.
We do have a bonus round where we will pick a will they, won't they pair, because that in sitcoms, I feel like, is a very often used trope. But the kicker for that is that we're not picking separately. Once we have all of our final picks, we'll have to choose our will they, won't they pair from that list. So
Okay,
yeah.
I see. Amazing. Okay, so in terms of, let's see, what questions do I have for you? So our sitcoms are live action only, or is animated?
That's a very good question. I was thinking for this first one, we would go with live action only, especially because animated often seems to bend the rules of tropes more easily and more often. So
I was just thinking, like, if we're creating a sitcom, like most likely it's not a mixed live action animated sitcom. I mean, it could be, but it's probably not.
We're not Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, like mixing media.
Amazing reference. I think, okay, so live action only. And then are we restricting it to like last 10 years or no? Is it any time? The dead silence is Jenni thinking.
Yes, sorry. I'm squinting my eyes.
Thinking very hard.
Well, no, because there are shows that are not in the last 10 years. I'm going to say like Friends, for example. That is a very...
I really was thinking about Friends when I asked this question. Like,
oh, perfect.
I
think you can include Friends.
Okay, so any time period. Okay.
Any time period. You can include Cheers if you want. I don't feel like you're not gonna, but
I'm not going to. Just spoiler alert. Will not be. I'm not really like well versed in old TV shows, to be quite honest.
Absolutely. You can use 90s sitcoms.
Okay, but yeah, just wondering if there were parameters to say up front.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but that's probably it. I think that covers. Well, okay, so the rules are, one of us will start, and then we'll just go back and forth with characters. So we will be slotting them into their tropes, but we're not going in a specific order. Is that right?
Precisely. Just like, and I'm going to pull it back to fantasy football again. You can choose a wide receiver. You could choose a quarterback. You could choose your defense. It doesn't matter what order you do it. You just got to fill your slots.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jenni just joined her first fantasy league this year, and now she's an expert. We're really benefiting from her knowledge.
Listen, I actually looked at my lineup before this weekend, which is unheard of. I have not done that in the previous 4 weeks. Carter has let me know that I had someone benched or whatever. I don't know what the things are, but I preemptively was like, ooh, I wonder what my projected points are.
And how are you doing? How's your team doing?
I am a 1-2 loss 2. Okay. I'm going into this week projected to win, but not projected that strongly, if that that phrasing makes any sense. Basically, I
Okay.
have a 55% chance of winning. So
It's not bad.
on the fence.
All right.
Thank you
Is it
for
time to
inquiring.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm gonna random number generate. Would you like evens or odds?
I'll do evens.
Okay. Generate number. Haha, 7. All right, so I go first.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go right off the back, and I'm gonna choose Ron Swanson for my bully.
Okay. That's weird. I'm like, I knew you were gonna screw me over immediately. All right. Do we want to what's a fun way to like, should we do like favorite quote from each character that we talk about, or like favorite
if we can think
moment?
of one, yeah, let's do
I know
it.
it's like 2 on the spot, but like I feel like we need to like,
Were you gonna choose him for your bully, or did you have a different category in mind?
no, he was my bully. I will
He's
have
a good
to.
one.
Okay, so now I have to, do I have to fill that character or that
No,
trope immediately?
no. But you can also say your
Don't.
favorite quote if you have one off the top of your head.
Oh, there's so many good. Oh, favorite quote. That could be a whole
Oh my
podcast
gosh.
episode alone, like top 5 Ron Swanson quotes. No, I was just wondering if we needed to like talk about why we picked the person, but like I don't know, it just feels like self-explanatory.
For Ron Swanson, I feel like it needs no explanation, but for those of you listening, if you haven't seen Parks and Rec, he is the jerk with the heart of gold that I was envisioning as soon as I saw this category on a list of sitcom tropes.
It's the obvious choice.
It's so good. I have some other ones we can discuss once you fill your roster.
Okay. I don't know. That's the best one too, because it's like you don't want a genuine bully. Like you want the like sort of rough around the edges, but nice character. Okay. I'm gonna have to really think on that one.
Okay.
So for my turn, okay. So I need to pick like just the person that I think you want.
You want to pick someone, yeah, that you don't want me to pick.
Okay. Okay. Which one do I think you would pick? Okay, I'm gonna pick Jim Halpert for sarcastic one.
The wisecracker.
The wisecracker. I think that, I don't know. I read the sarcastic one trope and immediately thought of Jim. And I was like, I could try to think of something more obscure, but like, that's the best one.
I'm not actually that upset, which is, okay. I'm glad, because I did have, when I was making my list earlier today, I also was like, Jim feels very obvious for this. It's a really good option. But then I was also like, I need to have some backups because I'm certain Jess will also feel the same way.
That was the obvious one. But I was like, I was trying also not to like I was like trying not to do the thing where I was like, who's Jenny not going to pick? And like just pick who I actually wanted.
Who you actually wanted.
Yeah.
I felt like for the sarcastic one, also Chandler Bing, I was a little bit like, I wonder if that's why you asked about Friends.
Okay. It's interesting because I actually particularly, I guess I'm spoiling part of my list, but I like did not include anyone from Friends.
Oh, then why'd you ask?
I don't really.
Threw me off the scent?
Okay, like everyone's going to hate me, but I don't really. No, I was just asking because I don't know. I guess I was just asking to ask because I had thought about it. Like I thought we needed a parameter of like recency. And then I thought the only one that the only one that would be excluded would be Friends. And I was like, I'll just do last 10 years. But I also don't really like Friends.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think people would be too mad at you.
It's like a fine show, but it's just like when I think of my favorite sitcom characters, nobody from that show came to mind. Chandler is funny, but like, I don't know. I rewatched Friends a few years ago and it just was like, it's also like, it was the first of its time or whatever, it's like one of the first like ensemble comedies to really like be the way it is. Is that wrong to say? I think it was sort of.
I'll be quite honest with you. I did not choose anyone.
Okay. Just so everyone knows, there's no Friends characters here.
But maybe I'll have to choose one if all of my characters get taken away. But I when I was making the list of the archetypes, it's really clear. I feel like because it is sort of the first of its kind, it's really clear who's who in Friends. Like Chandler is the sarcastic one. Joey is the goofy one. Monica, is the annoying / neurotic one. Like it's just Phoebe is the eccentric one.
That is true.
They fit the roles. Okay, interesting. Are you keeping track of your list?
I am,
Okay,
yes.
cool. Me too. Just in case I was wondering if I had to write down yours so that I could see. But
Well, yeah,
you
I'm
picked
keeping track of
Jim.
my list,
Yeah,
not
perfect.
yours. Okay, cool.
You picked Jim. I'm gonna pick David Rose of Schitt's Creek. And I'm gonna put David Rose as my sarcastic one.
Okay.
I was like, is that a mouth wide open agape at
No.
something?
That's a I really wanted David, but
Oh,
but I didn't have him. Because I really did try to pick different sitcoms, like characters from different sitcoms. Otherwise, I would literally just be remaking,
Parks
like it
and
would be
Rec.
half Parks and Rec and like half New Girl, to be quite honest.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, I guess I'm spoiling it maybe a
No,
little, but
I suppose I should have seen that coming.
I
I
just got
was
the best
thinking
characters, man.
Schitt's Creek, New Girl, Parks and Rec. There's one other one that I was like, I bet she's gonna source from this. I can't remember, but anyway,
The Office,
I was like maybe
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's
Yeah.
the one.
Okay. That actually is. But I like really tried not to. You literally just named the ones that I really tried not to just pick from.
Got it.
But I ended up writing out a list of 10 sitcoms that are like my favorite sitcoms. And I
Ooh.
was like, I'm gonna do my best. Which as I wrote that out, I was like, oh, that'd be a fun podcast
I
episode.
was gonna say you should tell me at the end, but we could also
Yeah, maybe I'll tell them at the end. But as I was doing that, I was like, okay, I should try to pick like one from each of these. But it's already messed up. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like I'm gonna end up with like just 3 sitcoms, but I'll do my best to. Oh, now I'm like, I feel like the struggle is like trying to think of
Are you panicking?
people fitting together. I'm already panicking.
I'm
People
sorry.
fitting together, but also being like my favorite characters. Like, well, I guess maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. Maybe they don't have to be my favorite. They have to be funny, but they have to be complementary to each other.
That's
And I don't think I'm gonna do well, to be frank. I just
all right.
one down, I'm already really struggling.
You're good.
One, yeah, I've literally only said one so far. Is that right? And you've said 2.
It's your turn.
Okay. So far I just have Jim. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I know what to do.
Tell
I
me.
am picking Winston Bishop from New Girl.
Ugh.
Did you have it? Yes.
He was
he
was one of my potentials. Yes. But it's
Um,
okay.
okay, Winston Bishop might actually be, I don't want to
so
say my favorite
incredible.
sitcom character of all time right off the bat, but like as far as sitcom characters that make me laugh and just like bring me joy and just like are truly incredible to watch, Lamorne Morris as Winston Bishop in like
So
seasons 3 and on. Just the funniest thing, just the like most joyful and most comedic. I say that, but honestly, I would say this about probably any of the male New Girl characters. Like they just are all so friggin' funny. But I had to pick Winston because I read the trope eccentric one and immediately thought of Winston.
I made a list after my initial list of ones that I should pick early, and he was definitely up there. But now he's crossed off.
Yeah.
But I also recently, as in the last 2 days, watched the scene where they find Nick's book, Z for Zombies, and Winston comes in and reads a passage from Z for Zombies. And I laughed a lot. And then I showed it to Carter, who has never seen New Girl, by the way.
Oh,
but I think he
Carter.
would really like it. And he laughed
Everyone
as well.
would. It is
Anyway,
a show for everyone,
truly excellent.
I think. Once you get past the first couple of seasons, but I say that about literally every sitcom. But with that one, I feel like it's an important disclaimer because Zooey Deschanel is a little off-putting to some people because she's like so Zooey Deschanel, like so that character. In the first
True.
2 seasons, it's like literally all Zooey all the time. And the other character, like Winston barely gets any screen time in the first couple of seasons.
Yeah, that's very true. And he, Coach is in there.
Yeah, Coach is in
first.
the first episode and then like disappears and then he comes back. But
Yeah.
Yeah, even Schmidt and Nick are like not the same characters in the first couple of seasons as they are later on. Like they really develop them more later,
You
as
know
is
what's
always the
funny?
case.
Oh, Winston, I mean, as an eccentric one is great. He was also a contender for my straight man because even though he is very eccentric, I feel like he reacts a lot. Like a lot of his humor, except I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like
it's half and
calling the
half.
others out for like,
Yes.
that's why he's such a funny character. Is like half the time he's like sort of calling the other
So
ones out for like
reasonable.
being crazy, and the other
Yeah,
half the time he's like acting like his cat is a person.
true. He does.
Jenny just got personally offended at that.
No, no, no. I don't, I hope I'm not to the extreme that Winston is. But yes. Okay. Okay. With that being said, I'm gonna take Nick from New Girl as my goofball ditz.
Okay, I'll let you have that.
Thank you.
I like particularly didn't pick Nick because I had Winston and I felt like I couldn't do both. But Nick is such a good one.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I feel pretty evenly. I accept that you picked Nick because I got Winston. I feel good about that. I feel okay about that.
Nice.
Like
Perfect.
both of our sitcoms are pretty good so far. Who do you have so far? Name your
I
three.
gave you Cookie Got Me Cookie will get me through hard times whenever.
You don't watch a Tal, Tal watches you is like I think about that all the time. Every time I watch my Tals, I think about that.
Girl watches you. Oh, so good. I have, in answer to your question, Ron Swanson as my bully, David Rose as my sarcastic, and Nick Miller as my goofball.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so three guys right now.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I pick a woman next because yeah. Okay, so I have Jim and I have Winston. Okay, I pick Alexis Rose for she's my goofball ditz character.
Incredible.
I think she
Uh,
counts. She's
oh,
definitely a ditz.
yes.
Well, she counts as the trope of a ditz. I would defend her with my life that she's actually very intelligent,
Oh, yes.
but I
But
think she fits
fits.
the trope.
Yes, I think so as well. I'm a little relieved because my next pick was going to be Moira Rose, unless you picked Moira. Oh, your face is gone. Very
That's
stony.
okay. No, you know what? It was probably for the best that I didn't pick a mom and daughter pair on my
Hmm.
team. So
But
is
I
that your
choose,
is that your next one?
she's my eccentric because I
Okay.
feel like as far as eccentric people go,
Oh, such a good one. That's true. Okay,
Moira.
so Moira is your eccentric.
Mhm.
Moira Rose of Schitt's Creek. I guess I've been saying the show names along with
We
picking people.
have until Schitt's Creek, but Schitt's
Okay.
Creek,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Alexis, my goofball character, is from Schitt's Creek. And then Jenny's next pick, Moira, also from Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
A mother-daughter pair that we've now split. We have severed
Mhm.
them onto
So
our separate
sad.
teams.
We can
They're
have some crossover
so
episodes
funny.
on our sitcoms. It's fine.
You know what's interesting about Schitt's Creek? It's when I watched it, I was like, this show is incredible. One of my favorite shows. Everybody should watch it. It's just so pure and so funny.
Mhm.
And then as the years went by, I probably watched it like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Well, no, I guess the finale came out like 2 years ago. But yeah, 2 years ago, whatever. I loved it. And then I sort of forgot about it. Like it's not one that I rewatch all the time. I like if I'm just cooking or whatever, like I'll put on New Girl, I'll put on Parks and Rec, I'll put on The Office. I'll even put on Brooklyn Nine-Nine before I ever think to put on Schitt's Creek. And I don't know
This
why. I
is
don't know why
this
that
is your
is.
sign to
It's
put
my
on Schitt's
sign.
Creek.
It's my sign to rewatch Schitt's Creek. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it probably is. They did just put the whole thing on Hulu.
Oh, excellent.
I
I
noticed
think that's
that.
also been an issue is that parts of Schitt's Creek have been on different streaming services more
Yeah.
than
Well,
other.
I thought it was all on Netflix, but I guess I haven't even looked in a while.
I think
That's
it
why
was
I was
until the
surprised.
final season. Like it came out, it was put on Netflix one season at a time. It's very similar to the whole
Yeah.
uh Rick and Morty situation where everything else is on HBO except for the most recent season.
Oh. Well, I think it's on Hulu now. Maybe I will rewatch. It has just the best quotes. Like obviously the just fold it in. Like I say that all the time.
True. You
But
just
yeah, I don't
folded it.
just haven't rewatched it, but yeah, maybe I will. Okay, so you picked Moira, so it is my
Your
turn.
turn. Yes.
Okay. I keep needing to remind myself who I have because my original list got a little messed up, and now I'm trying to
Uh-oh.
make sure it's balanced. So I have Jim from The Office, Alexis from Schitt's Creek, and Winston from New Girl.
A little bit of Alexis.
An interesting trio so far, I would say. Not sure how that plays out. All right. Who can I pick next? Okay, I know. I want Ben Wyatt as my straight man character.
As your straight man character?
Did I use it right? Did I
Yeah,
describe straight man character correctly? He could have also been a dork character, which is what I love about him so dearly, is that he is such a big dork, but you don't even know that for a while.
No,
That was what I actually remember watching that show and being like, since when has Ben a nerd? Like they like in
the
season
evolution.
3. Yeah, because when they introduced him like late in season 2, and he's this like very much the straight man character. He's the accountant. He's like boring. There's like, there's some humor to him, and his like, it really is. He's the straight man character very much when they first introduced him. And then I feel like he becomes the dork character somewhere in season 3 with the episode. I think it's with the Treat Yourself episode. I think it's when they're like, Ben, why do you want a full body Batman suit or whatever it is?
They're like sprinkle in things like him being a dork about liking numbers and
it was like he's a nerd, and then they like take the nerd like all the way up into like into fandom stuff. Then he's like sitting on the House of Cards, the Game of Thrones chair,
the House of Cards. Yes.
Yeah, so they really amped that up. But anyways, I'm picking him as my straight man character. So now I've got Ben, Winston, Alexis, and Jim. It does feel a little wrong to have both Jim and Ben. I realize that now that I've said it.
You say that. I mean, I picked 2 roses. You're like, I have David and Moira.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're just so, yeah.
Okay. I think at the end, I'm really going to have to like envision this.
I also feel like, can you imagine Ron Swanson being faced with David and Moira?
Oh my God, that'd be so funny. Okay, wow. Immediately jealous.
And like Nick Miller being like, yeah, these guys are weirdos.
I'm upset at how
Ron being like, don't align yourself with me. Okay.
I need to step it up. Yours is too good.
My next pick is going to be Kelly Kapoor for the annoying and or neurotic one, because I love her from The Office.
I do love that. I would never have thought of her for this.
Oh, I think category.
I'm flattered. I think because the annoying neurotic trope I relate to really much so when I watch sitcoms, and when somebody is filling this trope, typically I relate to them. So, and I don't really relate to Kelly because I think she's more of the like, you could almost pick her for the ditz almost. Yeah. She's not goofy enough though, so it's like not a perfect fit, but like she is supposed to be ditzy, I would say.
She's very calculated though.
Yeah, she's an interesting one. She doesn't perfectly fit a trope. And she's also not neurotic.
I mean, she is about Ryan. I said annoying and or neurotic.
That's true. No. I see. And it's not only a few people would fit like perfectly into a trope, and that's boring. So
she's also lovingly neurotic.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I really thought of one person immediately for this category, and then just like couldn't think of anyone else. So,
I'm very curious.
Well, I wonder if I should pick them next. Let's see.
Okay.
I wonder if they fit with my team. My team.
My team.
Yeah. Well, I literally can't not have her. I love her so much. Amy Santiago is who I immediately thought of for.
I was waiting for a Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah.
I know. I have a couple, but she's the first one. Amy Santiago from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She is the like main character, love interest to the Andy Samberg character. I relate so much to Amy Santiago to like a painful degree because I know they're making fun of her. Like I know the joke is like she's talking about her like color-coded binder and like how she sucks up to the boss and like all of a sudden like I just literally relate to like every aspect of Amy Santiago.
Yeah.
I feel like I see my relationship with Matt in her, and Andy Samberg's relationship.
Wow. Interesting. I
Not
don't
Andy Samberg. What the hell's the character's name?
Jake
Uh,
Peralta.
yes, Jake Peralta. Like he's the like goofball, like good at his job, but like acts in ways he should, like gets in trouble sometimes, but like just has fun. And she's like, no time for fun. We're being serious now. Like I don't know, man. I just relate so much to her.
Interesting you said he's a goofball because after Nick, Jake Peralta was my second possibility for goofball dits.
Yeah. No, that's a good fit for that.
In fact, I have all dudes for my goofball dits. I just realized I'm like
Interesting.
looking at my potential list. I also had Troy from Community.
That's a good
And
one.
Phil Dunphy seemed like
Oh, perfect
a
one.
classic. Anyway,
Wow, that is a good one.
okay. That was a good pick. That was a good pick. I'm wondering.
Did I mess you up?
No, no, no. I mean, not with the last one. Because I really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I will admit I have not seen it to its end.
Oh, you have to.
Yes, I will. I think, yeah, it's in my lineup.
That is like really one of my favorites.
I'm having the same dilemma as you were just describing earlier of I know I should be a little bit more, I should be picking, I should be more diverse in the shows that I pick because I do have a lot of sitcoms that I really like. But I think I'm going to choose another from Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And don't come at me for this. We can discuss. I'm going to choose April as my straight man.
Huh. Interesting. I think that's fine. I think that works based on how you described that trope to me.
Okay. I know that she fits for a lot of other things as well, like sarcastic for sure. Could also be eccentric as the seasons go on. But I really like the idea of her having in my specific sitcom being the one that originally you're like empathetic with and reacts to people. And sort of like Ben, you realize that she's weird as fuck.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I was gonna say in Parks and Rec, like it's sort of interesting that we picked two different characters as a straight man character. I wouldn't necessarily say that April is the straight man character in Parks and Rec.
I think Ann Perkins is, especially in the beginning.
Oh, she's so freaking boring.
I think she's the straight. She was like, everyone is insane, but then she becomes weird and insane too. So
yeah, but she's always like a little bit boring.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Straight man character.
Yeah, that's why I would never pick her. But I see what you're saying. There are aspects of straight man character to a few of the characters.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for validating you?
For saying that it was an okay pick without being angry with me.
Yeah, no, I'm not angry. I'm trying to see your point of view. I am also at the same time as I'm talking, trying to figure out what I want to say next, who I want to pick next. And I feel like I just had a lightning bolt moment because this person wasn't on my list. Because I've needed to.
Is it because I said a show that you hadn't thought of or no?
No, it is just, my brain was wandering and I'm like really trying to decide if I want to say it. I think I'm going to do it. No, you know what? I'm going to save it because I don't think you have it. I'm going to save it because I don't think you have it. I don't think you have my next one either, but I'm going to pick. Oh no, I just realized I have another. Okay. Wow. I'm just going to do it. Shoot from the hip. Lucille Bluth.
Do
you have any
that's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
My next pick is also from Arrested Development, but not.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Because when I just hesitated right before I said it, I was thinking about how I had actually two Bluths and I just picked one. But now I'm thinking I didn't want two Bluths anyway. So I'm glad I didn't pick the one that you were thinking of. I think I probably know who you were thinking of, maybe. But anyways, Lucille Bluth for my bully character, which I think works
incredible.
Really well.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. Who did you think? Well, okay.
Well, I don't know
Yes.
what categories do you have left? Because I really want to guess now.
Who do I have left? I have the sage. I have the enemy, and I have the dork left.
Okay, are you doing Michael Bluth for the stage?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Michael Booth was actually in there as one straight man possibility, even like a similar thing as
okay,
April.
yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay, anyway, who do you have then?
Okay, I'm going with Job Bluth as my
Oh,
enemy.
wait, that's such a good one. I didn't even think about that. Okay, it's a great one.
Thank
I'm
you.
envious. I'm envious. I
Also
think
from
you're
Arrested Development, just in
doing
case
a
that wasn't
yes.
clear.
You're doing a better job than me, actually. I'm immediately jealous.
It's I mean, I
I
put way too
strategized
much
poorly.
thought into this. So you at least you
Um,
can probably have more of a life this week.
I did this in, I'm gonna admit, like the 15 minutes before we started recording, and
And
just
it shows,
picked.
Jess. No, I'm just
It
kidding.
probably does, but I just yeah, I just picked people I liked. But oof, that's a good one. Oh,
Thank
Will
you.
Arnett is so funny as
Incredible.
Job,
Yeah. I
like
keep saying
just
incredible. I
such a
need to
good
find a
character.
new word, but I do really think
So
he is
perfectly
incredible.
cast. Actually, I think Arrested Development is one of the best casted sitcoms. Like just truly
Hot take.
impeccable casting. Is it not? Jessica Walter as Lucille Bluth is
Oh,
the
so
just
perfect.
the funniest and most excellent casting.
I mean,
I just
Liza Minnelli as the other Lucille,
amazing. Like
wild.
stunt casting done perfectly.
Michael Cera would be great. I love him in anything, but
Very much ignoring the last two seasons. Just feel like I need to say that for the
mhm.
world. But
We
yes,
don't agree that those exist. We agree
amazing.
that those don't exist, I guess
David
is what I
Cross as Tobias. Just I mean, anyways, we should just do
okay.
a whole podcast episode about Arrested Development.
I
So
know.
excellent. Is it my turn?
It
Yes, you
is your
picked.
turn.
Okay, so you
Yes.
picked Job as your who? As your which one?
As my enemy.
Such a good one. I'm upset. Okay, so I really need to. Oh man, feel like I really need to pivot because I was gonna do. I'll just say it. I was gonna do. I had Michael Bluth still on this list.
Okay.
I had him as my dork character
Oh.
because by the end you very much realize like he is
Yeah.
not the like normal, like has it all together person that he like thinks he is in the family. Like he's definitely like the dork, but
Mhm.
maybe not dorky enough. Anyways, I don't want to pick him because I feel like I have a good choice in Lucille, but I don't think I want Lucille and Michael Bluth. So I'm gonna have to
You're really
think about
splitting up
that
parents and
one.
their children.
Yeah, I guess there's something about including both that I don't think I want on my team.
That
So the
seems
dork
okay.
character, okay, just thinking aloud.
Mhm.
Maybe I shouldn't because you could pick from what I'm saying, although whatever. I I thought about doing Liz Lemon as my dork character, but I'm not going to because
What a roller coaster.
I know, man, I'm struggling.
She's
I
also on my dork list, but not up the top, if that helps you at all.
well, she's like sort of an obvious choice for it, I think,
Yeah.
but uh, I feel like she would be the lead. Maybe it's just because she's the lead in 30 Rock, like Liz
Mm.
Lemon is the star of 30 Rock. I don't want her as my starring character. Like she's not
Mm.
my protagonist
Mm-hmm.
in my sitcom. It's not like I don't want a Liz Lemon as my protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I say that, who do I want as my protagonist? Dork character could be. I can't pick Leslie Knope because I already picked Ben Wyatt.
Leslie's
And I don't
also on my
just
dork list, but also
literally
not at the top.
remaking. Yeah, I'm literally just remaking Parks and Rec, which is
No,
like
you're not.
not a shock that would be my instinct. All right, dork
I think you only have one
character.
Parks and Rec character as it is.
I'm really trying to
Yeah, you're doing a
like I
good
said, I'm
job
like
at
really trying to like spread the love.
diversifying your portfolio
Thank
of
you.
sitcoms.
Oh, okay. I'm like really, really dying over
That
here. I'm
was such like
sorry.
a pained
I'm
groan.
in pain. Okay. I'm gonna do.
Tell me.
Oh, I'm trying to be unique here and like not pick the obvious choices.
Pick what you
Uh,
like. Because I think, at least for dork, well, Yeah, never mind. I don't want to say what I don't think we have overlaps for the last two picks, would be my
We probably don't.
guess.
Yeah, we probably don't.
I think
I
you're
know. I
safe to
guess
pick
I'm
whatever you want best.
okay. I picked Michael Scott as the dork character.
Oh,
That's what I was like.
nice.
That's what my pained sound was. I just like wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, but I'm just
I
pulling the
see.
trigger. Michael Scott from The Office. If someone didn't know that, I'd be really appalled. But he's
My
I guess he doesn't have to be my protagonist though, just because he is
no.
the lead in The Office. But all right, I've got him. That's what I'm picking.
Can I tell you what my other, because we're nearing the end, what the other dork possibilities were in my
Sure.
list?
Yes.
I had Annie from Community. Felt like that was a good.
I almost picked her.
Also Abed from Community, although he's more of an eccentric character.
Yeah, I would not put him as the dork character.
Yeah. I had Ben and Leslie as possibilities.
Both
What a couple of
dorks.
dorks. Liz Lemon, like you said, and then Abby from Broad City.
Yeah,
That one
that's a
came
good
to me in
one.
a dream. I was like, huh. Okay.
Solid.
But I will not, I'm gonna leave the dork to last just in case you have, because
Okay.
I don't think you would pick the
Oh
person
no,
that I
I'm
have.
so intrigued to your I thought I didn't even realize you hadn't picked dork yet. You just said like 7 good choices. How did you not pick any of them?
Because I have a show. This is what I don't think either you haven't watched this show or it's not one of your favorites for my dork.
Oh,
But it
okay.
is one of my favorite comedic actors. So I had to pick. But okay.
Now I really want to guess.
Oh yeah, you can.
I'm
Well, I'm
not
gonna
going
pick
to.
my
No, I'm not
sage
going
first.
to. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Chidi from The Good Place as
Great
my
choice.
sage slash smart one.
Okay, that's a very good choice.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought about the Good Place characters and did not decide to go with any of them.
That feels fair.
I feel like they very much work in their little square, their foursome. Like the characters play off each other really well. But as like standalone characters, I was not drawn to any of them.
I thought of Jason as a good ditz.
Yeah, I did think of him for a second. He actually is really funny. He'd be a good, just
Yeah.
like truly comedic Ditz character.
And I mean, Eleanor is also a good bully.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Or Tawny, honestly.
Okay. Jenni
Bullies
just
can
lost
have
all
it.
of them.
Okay.
I
So
didn't feel particularly drawn to any of them.
that's fair. Yeah. I will explain more about how I think. I mean, obviously, in my sitcom, he's not dead. He's just a philosophy guy who's too anxious. But
That's fair.
yeah. All right. So your second to last pick. I can't remember what do you have left?
I don't have anyone yet for enemy, and I don't have anyone yet for sage.
Nice. Okay.
I'm okay. I told Jenni that there was a category before we started that I was like really, really struggling with because I just like could not think of a good fit for it. And it was enemy.
Mhm.
I couldn't think of who did you put for enemy?
Job Bluth.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that's why I got so mad when you said that, because it's so freaking good. And I just couldn't think of a good, like, who's a character that I like because he's so fun, or he or she is so funny, but that I like don't hate. Like, I also didn't want to like hate them. Like, if they're too much of the enemy character, then like that's not good.
I want to give you some other ideas that I had, but I don't know if that's allowed.
No, I know. Yeah, and you've been too good at this. I'm just angry.
Okay.
Don't give me your ideas, because then
Okay.
I'll feel more mad that I didn't think of them myself. But also I am struggling. I have 2 written down. Okay. How many? Okay, so I have
Tell me what they
Ben
are.
from Parks and Rec. I have Michael from The Office. I have Winston from New Girl. I have Alexis from Schitt's Creek. I have Jim from The Office. Okay, so I have 2 from The Office. I have Lucille from Arrested Development and Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Okay, so I have the 2 people written down. I would be duplicating a sitcom in either of my options. I'm either duplicating Brooklyn Nine-Nine or The Office.
Why? Just because of 2 characters?
Like, yeah. So the people I've written down for enemy, the one is from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I already have Amy, and then one is from The Office, and I already have Michael.
I have
Oh my God. No, wait. I have 2 from The Office. I have Michael and Jim. So I can't pick an Office character.
I mean, I have 2 from Parks and Rec and 2 from Schitt's Creek, just so you
Okay.
know, in my
But I
lineup
can't have
already.
3 from The Office. So, okay. So the one that I was going to do from The Office, I'm now not going to do. It was
Oh,
Nellie Bertram.
yeah, that's a good one.
I thought that'd be a really good
I
enemy one.
I really love her as an actress, but I do really hate that character.
Catherine Tate is so good.
Yeah.
See, I really like, I hate that character, but I genuinely do think that character is funny. I know people hate, like, just categorically hate the last few seasons of The Office, but I don't. Man,
Mhm.
that's I guess a hot take. I was really thinking about either her or Robert California. They both make me laugh. Like, people hate those characters, but like,
Oh, he makes me so uncomfortable.
oh, uncomfortable for sure. They both do. So does Nellie. But anyways, but I'm
Ugh.
not picking either of them. I am going to pick Doug Judy as my enemy character. I hope that counts. The Pontiac Bandit from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Uh,
It's sort of a niche take. You
yeah.
just told me you haven't watched all of it. Have you seen, do you know Doug Judy?
Is Doug Judy played by what's his
Craig
face?
Robinson.
Craig Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the reference, but I cannot. But yeah,
Okay.
I think that's
Because
like
he's
a
only in, like, if you add them up, probably like 4 episodes of Brooklyn
okay.
Nine-Nine. But it's all like, he's a recurring character that's like very much like, when he's in the episode, it's the point of the episode. It's one of
Incredible.
the like
Nice.
recurrent, like how every season has like the Halloween episode where they do the heist.
Oh,
You've
I need to
seen
watch
at
Halloween
least a
episodes of
heist. Those,
yes, yes,
oh,
yes.
those are the best ones, the Halloween heist. Absolutely
Mm.
incredible episodes. It is a Halloween heist, right? Now that I've said that like 3 times, now I'm questioning myself. They always do the heist, and I think it's for Halloween. Now I'm questioning it. Anyways, I got to rewatch the heist ones. Either way, they're amazing episodes. But just like they always do a heist episode, there's pretty much always a Doug Judy episode, and they call him the Pontiac Bandit. And I guess I'm sorry if you haven't ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I think in the first season you like don't know who the Pontiac Bandit is, but it's not a spoiler. It's not that sort of show. Like, it's
Yeah,
just funny.
it's a sitcom.
And
You'll get there.
Craig Robinson is so incredible as this character. And it's the enemy character because he is literally a criminal, and they
Mhm.
work at a police precinct and they're all cops. But like, he's also always like friends with Jake. And that's the whole like, are they friends? Is he actually like being nice to Jake, or is he a criminal just trying to like skate by through the system? And you still don't really know even after all the seasons are done. And it's just the best. It's just the best thing. I
Nice.
love that character. So hopefully it works as an enemy. I'm counting it as the enemy character because like I said,
Sure.
it's sort of like a, is he bad or is he, either way, he is a criminal. To be clear, he does steal vehicles. But it's like,
I
is
mean,
he
Pontiac Bandit
actually,
really did. I didn't think he was stealing the whole, area of Maryland and
he's not
never
stealing the
mind.
Declaration of Independence. He is indeed stealing cars.
Cars. My other enemy possibilities, which I didn't like because, well, no, Jean Ralphio and Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Okay. Those are like great characters. I don't know that I would have thought of them for enemy.
Yeah.
But
And then
actually, Jean Ralphio is, no, Jean Ralphio is a good one for
he
enemy. Actually,
definitely messes with
yeah, just
Aziza's
ruins
life.
up everything.
But then the other two were actually from Community, both of them. The first was Chang. That one felt like sort of an obvious enemy
I thought of
because
that
of
actually.
who he is. The second one I thought would be an interesting enemy. She's obviously not in the show Community, but Shirley. I felt like she could be in some storylines as someone who is like always like pitted against whoever my main character would be for
I could
whatever
see
reason.
it.
And then maybe it's like enemies to friends, enemies to lovers. Um,
Interesting. I don't hate it. I would never
thank you.
thought of it for enemy.
But Joe Bluth, I'm happy with.
I mean,
My
that's the
choice.
perfect one. I am still jealous of that.
Thank you. Okay. My last pick, final pick is, and we can read our lists afterwards, but
Yeah, we will need to.
my final pick for Dork is Moss from IT Crowd. Are you familiar with Moss?
Oh, I haven't seen. I you've told me to watch this
okay.
show. I've never seen it.
Richard Ayoade. I have the biggest crush on Richard Ayoade. If you're familiar at all with British panel shows, I actually wrote in the newsletter a list of my favorite British panel shows and what they're about and why you should watch them. He is a frequent guest of specifically the Big Fat Quiz of the Year and the Big Fat Quiz of Everything, but is on a lot of other panel shows as well. I think he still has his own travel show where he goes to different places with different comedians and they test out different options of like hotels and places to eat and whatever. Travel Man, I want to say is what it's called.
Yeah.
All of these are available on YouTube. But IT Crowd is a really great British sitcom. And he plays one of the IT members who is definitely a dork, sits in the basement in their office, tells people to turn things off and then turn them back on again. He's great and I love him. And he is my final pick as my dork.
All right. I will, I guess, have to watch that show to know that one. I feel like that will not be one that most people know. Is that safe to say?
Probably. It's been on Netflix for a while, but it is sort of, it floats under the radar a lot. It's older. I think it's either late 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah. Okay. My last category is the sage / smart one. And unfortunately, the person that I most wanted for that would be trying to count and talk at the same time, be my third Brooklyn Nine-Nine pick. And I don't think I want to do that.
Tell me who it is.
It was going to be Captain Ray Holt.
That makes sense.
One of the best sitcom characters. I actually wrote him down. He was one of the first people I wrote down, but then I sort of screwed myself up by picking Amy and Doug Judy, both from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, I don't want 3 Brooklyn Nine-Nine characters. So I'm going to pivot.
Okay.
And do what I said I wasn't going to do and pick another Rose. I'm going to pick Johnny Rose.
He was on my list too.
From Schitt's Creek. So now I have Alexis and Johnny.
Perfect.
They're a good pair. They're really funny together. So I'm okay with this.
I like that I have Moira and David and you have Alexis and Johnny. That feels good to me.
I do like that. I think this is fun. Yeah. I like that they're against each other. Okay. I feel good about him as an individual choice. I truly do not know what my sitcom looks like right now.
Before we read our thing, set aside our sitcoms for a second and think about Johnny Rose and Alexis versus Moira and David. Who would win in competitions? I kind of think your pair.
What sort of competitions? Just like who's funnier?
No, any kind of competitions. They're like on what is it? The Amazing Race or something.
Together. Okay. That's a good one. I would say, well, actually, no, it's important what sort of competition, because the Amazing Race is like, somebody needs to use their brain. And I totally put Johnny as winning over Moira and David, who like could not figure out how to fold in cheese. Like, I'm pretty sure Johnny and Alexis are winning that one, although they might fight each other to death and then lose. Or
Johnny might give Alexis some, directive, and Alexis might interpret it some way, and they'll be like, why, what are we?
Yeah. I don't know that they can actually get from point A to point B because they would be frustrating each other, but they are smarter than the combo of Moira and David.
David
would be more obsessed with like what they look like when they get from point A to point B. I hope people have seen Schitt's Creek. Otherwise, this was a long segue tangent.
Yes. Okay. So,
all right. Do you want to go through your sitcom? Who do you have?
Yeah, and then we have to pick our will they, won't they pair from our list. My list. I'm gonna run down. My straight man comedic foil character is April from Parks and Rec. My dork is Moss from IT Crowd. My eccentric one is Moira Rose, Schitt's Creek. Goofball / ditz, Nick from New Girl. Sarcastic one is David from Schitt's Creek. Bully, jerk with a heart of gold, is Ron Swanson, Parks and Rec. My annoying and or neurotic one was Kelly Kapoor, The Office. Enemy, Job Bluth, Arrested Development. And the smart one, Sage, is Chidi from The Good Place.
Okay. You know what I just realized about these lists? It's interesting. It's like there's 9. Is that how many people we have picked?
1, 2, 3, 4.
9 each.
Yeah.
That they're all like main 4. Like in the sitcoms that we picked them from, there's normally like, I'd say 4 main characters, like on average. We have picked the main 4, but we have 9. So I feel like there is this sort of like, when we describe our sitcom, have to decide like who the main character is, who this like the supporting characters are, and then who the like background characters would be. So maybe think about that while I read my list. Okay. I have Ben from Parks and Rec, Michael from The Office, Winston from New Girl, Alexis from Schitt's Creek, Jim from The Office, Lucille from Arrested Development, Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Doug Judy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Johnny Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Nice. Okay, I think first we need to realize that sitcoms go through a lot of evolutions. And so some characters, like take The Office, for example. Kelly Kapoor, not a main character until maybe season 3 or 4.
Yeah, but she's still not. Yeah, I think like pick a main 1 or 2. Because you can still like extrapolate over all of the like 8 seasons that we would have of our TV show. And there will be like a main 1 or 2.
I'm just saying what we pick as this in the years that our sitcom is running could change, subject to change.
Yeah, sure.
We're not damning our secondary characters to a life of unfulfilled, I don't know, acting.
That's fair. I'm just trying to think like, how do we decide whose sitcom is better? If like, I don't really know how these people all fit together right now.
Yeah, that might be a bonus episode. Okay. Rundown. Oh, by the way, Bully, I was really sure you were going to pick Gina Linetti.
I did want to, but like I said, I had like 5 Brooklyn Nine-Nine characters in my first iteration, and then I had to pare it down.
Also, Jenna, 30 Rock. I thought that would be a good one.
Ugh. No, this is another like hot take that I've like kept a secret, but like I don't love 30 Rock.
Wow.
I feel like that's like a deep, dark secret. It's easy for me to pretend like I do because I've seen all of it and I know the quotes, and
didn't you almost pick Liz Lemon? Did you pick Liz Lemon?
No, I told you I didn't want to pick Liz Lemon. I told you she was like the one I thought of first, but like I don't really like her. Like that's sort of how I feel about all the 30 Rock characters. Like I think the show is funny enough, but I don't really like any of those people. Like none of the characters are likable in my opinion, and that has made me never want to rewatch it. I feel like I'm gonna lose some friends here, but don't hate me.
No, I think you're okay.
It's just not like the way I love Parks and Rec and The Office. People feel that way about 30 Rock, and I don't begrudge them that, and I don't judge them. It's just not
a different
mine.
Flavor.
It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's more. What's the word that I'm looking for? It's a little bit more self-deprecating.
Even like all the Tina Fey comedies, and I've reviewed probably all of the ones that have come out in like the last few years. Like Great News, I did a review of in the newsletter. I did Mr. Mayor. I guess I didn't do Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Like I've watched all of them and liked them. They're just not my rewatchables. Like there's something too over the top maybe for me. I said I have rewatched Great News though. I don't know.
It's short. It's shorter.
It's just it's
easier
shorter
to rewatch.
The like super quirky characters like are just not likable. Like they're all quirky. They're all not humans. Like I don't know. In Parks and Rec, like you could meet a Ben. Like that is a person in real life. You could probably even meet. I was gonna say, yeah, you could definitely meet a Leslie. Like just super optimistic, go-getter. Like is Liz Lemon? Liz Lemon is the most realistic of those characters.
You don't think Jack Donaghy?
No, Jack Donaghy is. He's probably the most realistic. And then Liz is, because she's like nerdy or whatever. But then the other ones are so over the top. And I put, who did you say? You said this because of Jenna Maroney, right? I put Jenna in that category. Like just so fake, just too much.
Right. Definitely a bully though.
That's true.
Okay, before I talk more about my sitcom, I'm going to choose my will they, won't they pair. Okay. But I want your thoughts. I guess you could lie to me to make my sitcom worse. But so right now wow, no, I'm not. I was just looking at who I have and I was like, Ron Swanson and Moira Rose, not happening.
That's so ridiculous. I sort of love that.
But my more realistic one, I was thinking April and Nick.
Oh, interesting.
It's sort of similar to April and Andy.
Yeah.
But a little bit less. Okay. A little bit less of, I don't know. But so that makes sense to me. There's also Kelly Kapoor and Chidi from The Good Place, which is.
I also sort of like that.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine Chidi trying to teach Kelly Kapoor philosophy.
Oh my God, yeah.
I love
She'd be
that.
like, I totally would be like, blah, 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 and give you a really insightful answer.
I
The
love
other
that.
thing, Nick from New Girl and David from Schitt's Creek.
Nick from New Girl and David from Schitt's Creek.
Also, not
We,
has a little bit of the David and what's his name from Schitt's Creek that wind up getting married. That I spoiler alert, by the way.
Patrick.
Sorry, Patrick,
No,
except a little goofier.
Yeah. So Nick is gay in this sitcom,
Or at least bi. If Nick and David were, will they, won't they?
I feel like Patrick and David work because Patrick is very like
Grounded,
smart and grounded. And I think, yeah, Nick and David sounds so chaotic. Like
it's true.
just true chaos.
Fair enough.
All right. So who are you picking? Who's your final choice?
I'm between Kelly and Chidi and April and Nick.
And your final choice is
April and Nick. Going for it.
I like it. I think it's a good choice. My will they, won't they is gonna be, oh, let's see. I think the obvious one is Ben and Amy. Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec and Amy Santiago from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But the reason Amy works so well with Jake in Brooklyn Nine-Nine is because they're different. Like I said, like the like neurotic one and the like golden retriever, or however people describe that romance trope. And then Ben is maybe too nerdy. Like Amy and Ben they're both nerdy.
Too similar.
Yeah. So that's a little boring. Maybe just to mix things up, just to see what would happen. I'm going to do Alexis and Jim. Alexis Rose from Schitt's Creek and Jim Halpert from The Office.
I kind of like it.
I want to see how that works together. I don't see Jim liking Alexis, but like I want to see the evolution of Alexis Rose as like the smart character. Like I said, I would really defend that she's smart. So I think she shows her smart side, and then Jim like slowly falls for her. It's sort of the opposite of the Amy Jake thing in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's the same trope, maybe Brooklyn the same like romance trope. I know I say it weird, but like the other way around. So Alexis is the like sort of crazy ditzy one that's actually smart, just like Jake, and then Jim is the Amy,
more level-headed,
like organized, grounded. He's not neurotic, but it's sort of a similar thing. Yeah, I like it. Alexis and Jim.
Nice. As you were saying that, I was looking through some of my runner-up choices, and I'm kicking myself, not for the will they won't they pair, but I almost chose Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for my eccentric one, and Charlie and Nick from New Girl would be so funny together.
Yeah,
in my
that
opinion.
Would be funny.
They would just take things too far.
Again, just utter chaos.
It would be great.
I think biggest regret of this list, that not for the will they won't they, but just in general, my list. Excuse me. Again, a Brooklyn Nine-Nine character. Like I said, I just wanted to pick all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Charles Boyle. He is. Man, you got to rewatch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He is the like dorky.
I remember who he is.
Yeah,
super dorky. Eyes that look like
he says stuff that's just so out there. It's incredible. He's so funny. But yeah, my list couldn't just be Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I hope, if anything, this has convinced people to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine if they haven't. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Brooklyn Nine-Nine? How do you say it?
I say Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right. So I thought you said when we've
I say Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's how I say it.
We've talked about this before, and you have.
I know, and I said it's because they yell 9-9, but that supported your argument and not mine. It turns out 9-9? I just say things weird. I don't know why.
That's how it is.
I should have asked this in the beginning because I wasn't sure if it counted. I feel like our sitcoms are very traditional sitcoms, as in like the ones we picked from. They're like episodic in nature.
Mhm.
They're like the tropes, the characters fit tropes really well.
Mhm.
Ted Lasso
Yeah.
is not really episodic in nature. It is more premise driven. It's a comedy for sure, but I didn't know, it didn't really feel like it fit like perfectly in my list of sitcoms that, because like I said, the rest of them are very, very like episodic and like traditional sitcoms. And Ted Lasso is more of like a comedy, a premise driven comedy. What
Yeah.
are your thoughts? Did you also think
I
about including it?
I did. In fact, I had Ted Lasso on my list for the potential sage/smart one. I had Roy Kent
Oh, so
on
you just
my
didn't pick
list.
them.
I did not pick them. They were
Interesting.
low down because I was having similar thoughts. But then I was a little bit like, yeah, but they will, I could fit as much as I was fitting any other character into a slot where they could be one other thing and could be another. Even though the show is slightly different than the ones we wound up mainly picking from, I feel like in particular, Roy Kent could be a good bully, jerk with a
Yeah.
heart of
Oh,
gold
there's so
situation
many good characters from Ted Lasso. I particularly did not pick from it
because
because
we had those.
yeah, I guess just because I like wasn't sure if it fit in
Yeah.
our definition. But now I feel sad that I didn't pick anyone from that.
Me
And the
too.
other one that I like really had thoughts about picking people from, other than Community, which
Mhm.
I think I said there was some people from Community I thought about picking but then didn't. Veep. I
Yeah,
really thought I might end up with someone from Veep. I love Veep. Incredible sitcom. But
Amy
then when
was
I
on
thought
my
about
list
the
somewhere.
individual characters, I was like, again, I hate all these people individually. Like none of them are likable. But that's the point, and that's why it works so well on Veep. But Veep is so strongly this like
Yeah,
satire where everyone's unlikable that I
it'd be
just
hard
didn't
to
know
fit
if
it
they
in.
worked yeah, outside of that like environment.
The one that I let on one of my list was Amy from Veep in the annoying and or neurotic one. I thought potentially she could fit well.
Yeah.
Whereas like Selena, I don't know. That'd be
I thought
honestly,
Amy for like the straight man,
or that too. Yeah.
but she's just I don't know. Yeah, again, it's just I feel like when I think about the Veep characters, they're just so firmly in Veep. If that makes
I sort of felt
sense.
that way about Arrested Development too, originally. I was like, it's
Oh,
just like
really?
it's hard to take them out of there.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I think people would argue what I just said about Veep about Arrested Development. Like no one's likable and they're all very over the top.
Yeah.
Honestly, my arguments of 30 Rock don't stand up either. I said my problem with it is no one's likable. Nobody's likable in Arrested Development. And it's an
No.
incredible show. One of my favorites to rewatch. But yeah, I guess I don't have a good explanation for why I just don't love 30 Rock.
My last one that I regret not choosing anyone from is Scrubs.
Yeah,
I
I
think there
did.
are
I thought you would actually. When I was putting my list of sitcoms together to like pick from, I thought
mhm,
Scrubs, and then I was like, I never rewatch it, so it just I
mhm.
didn't have anyone like fresh in my mind, but I thought you might.
Yeah, I I liked a lot of them. I'm happy with my choices. I think I got all of my picks except I had to switch around one. So I'm very happy
Okay, I think
with my
me
list.
too. I didn't get Ron Swanson.
I
I
know
wanted
that
him.
I figured that would might be an early choice of yours.
That was the only one that I feel like got stolen away.
Well, all in all, you've heard our lists. If you feel like telling us which one you think is better, let us know. Or just go and watch these sitcoms because they're really good. But
I think Jenny's is better. I'm gonna be honest.
I appreciate that.
I think your list is better than mine. I
I
like
do,
every character on my list, but
but
I don't
together you
know.
don't know how their ensemble would work.
I don't know
I
if
feel like Ron
together.
Swanson and Kelly Kapoor, oh, A plus.
I
Their
mean, Ron Swanson
dynamic,
with anyone. I guess I'm focused on that. I'm focused on Job. Ron Swanson and Job, like literally just name Ron Swanson with anyone on your list and it's funny.
Ron Swanson, Moira Rose, Ron
I don't
Swanson.
have like
Nick would idolize Ron Swanson.
just yeah, everything about Ron Swanson is the linchpin and I wanted him. I
They
don't
would,
have
yeah.
a character like that. And I think I have too many. I picked Ben, Michael, and Jim. Like that's too many like
White boys?
white male lead
Mm.
character people.
Do you want to
Yeah.
swap any out? I'm
Feeling bummed about that.
so sorry.
The sarcastic one. Who could I switch? Oh, no, I'm not gonna. I can't. This is what I did. I picked this list. This is what I have to live with now.
I was about to be like Ryan Howard, but that's also from The Opposite, also a white man.
Also a white man. I don't know. Maybe I would swap Ben for Rosa Diaz, but then again, I'm just making Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm just literally creating Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
So whatever. I did
It
this
is
to
what it
myself.
is.
Not my best performance.
This was very fun.
I could talk about sitcoms literally all day. They're my favorite.
We need to do another similar.
We could do a top 10. I would
podcast.
have the hardest time ranking I have a group of top 10 sitcoms that I like feel pretty confident about, but ranking them, kill me. I'd rather die.
Lord almighty.
I really I do not know how I would do that. Now
Definitely let's put that one on the back burner.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't die. No, I do feel like we should do that, but it will cause me great stress.
All right. I did write that down as a possible next one. Before we sign off, I watched, you were saying that it might be a Halloween episode, the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I can't remember what you were saying. The heist. I'll write it down because I watched one Buffy the Vampire Slayer Halloween episode last night and it made my dreams come true. And now I'm working my way through other Halloween episodes of things.
It's totally the Halloween heist. I don't know why I second guess myself for a second. So every Halloween episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they do a heist, and it's basically you have to find all of the people in the precinct fight against each other to steal something from Captain Holt is basically the premise. And it's so ridiculous and it gets so over the top and you never really know where it's going. Every single episode is pure magic, pure gold.
It sounds like the paintball episodes of Community.
Yes, similar, very similar in that there's the through joke that's for Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a little more typical because it's Halloween, but then the actual premise is so unique that I would say similar. If you were going to start with just one, I would say I'd say the first one. I'd say season one's heist episode is hilarious. So good.
I'm gonna do it as soon as we hang up.
Okay, amazing. I would pitch just rewatching all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I know that's an undertaking and we got to watch new shows. So that I was going to say
we've got shit to do, Jess.
So you don't have time for that. I do want to watch. I was thinking of things that just came out. The Midnight Club just came out on Netflix. I got to check that out. That's another Mike Flanagan, the guy who did The Haunting of Hill House. So I'm actually really excited.
I feel a little stupid because I just started rewatching the Dairy Girls, the newest season of Dairy Girls that came out on Friday. That would have been a great one to pick characters from. And it completely, it's a very specific era and similar to the other ones where we were wondering if they fit in. But I do think certain characters would fit really well in these tropes.
I know that's one that I have to still watch. I know I'd like it based on what people have said, and I just haven't seen it.
You would,
yeah. But get other shit to watch first.
Yeah,
I can tell people about them.
Well, here's the thing, Jess. Now that we have a lot of ideas for podcasts, so I feel like we can safely say our podcast can come out more regularly now.
Yeah,
we can safely be
put out
tune in next
8
week
very irregularly. We still can't say a day probably, but
I'm gonna shoot from the hip, taking a thing you said earlier and using it. Maybe
is that a real idiom?
Context.
Is that I don't know. Idioms are not my thing.
So shoot from the hip and say Friday. Come to us on Fridays.
Well, when does this one come out then? Does this one come out on Friday?
Yeah.
So
you know what? Every 2 weeks on Friday.
All right. Just click the follow button. Is that on all platforms? Do whatever you need to do to get notifications when new episodes are out. How about that?
That sounds great.
There's no rules here.
The
rules are made up.
Bye.
Bye.